Hello and good morning. It's Erica here from Me To You Paper Crafts. I apologize for my late entrance, but we had a friend pop in this morning to work with my husband on a project, and we got chatting, and yeah, so sorry, here I am. Today, I've got another card sketch for you. I've been doing these weekly on my Mojo Mondays, and we're up to card sketch number 10. These card sketches appear in the annual catalog, close to the front of the catalog, and they're card sketches, but they don't come with any measurements. And there was a very nice demonstrator out of the United States who decided to maybe make the cards and work out the measurements and then share this PDF with everybody so that we can make them. So I've got a card sketch here to show you. And after I finished the live, I put up a picture of the card sketch with the finished card in another post on my Facebook page so that you can have a look at it. So without further ado, I don't want to delay you any further if you're still here. And if not, you can watch the replay. But thank you so much for watching. So let me switch my camera here. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to just move this a little bit closer. All right. So here is the card sketch. And so it's basically showing you that this is the card base. So it's a regular card base. So I'm going to use our thick basic white cardstock as the card base. And then we've got a strip that goes across here, a rectangle strip that goes across here, and it measures 1.5 by 3.5. Now, there's all kinds of choices here. If you choose to use a colored cardstock, maybe this strip could just be white, or this strip could be a piece of DSP, and this piece here, this square piece, 2.25 squared, could be a DSP piece, or this could be an embossed piece. I mean, a card sketch just gives you so many different options here. Okay, now I've chosen to use this stamp set. It's Hearts of Elegance. This stamp set comes with a beautiful set of dies, and this is an online exclusive, meaning that it doesn't appear in a catalog. It's been online for quite a while. It's still available, and please don't get dissuaded by the fact that hearts equals Valentine's. It certainly does not. These dies will work so well for birthdays, celebrations, weddings, showers, any kind of thing. I mean, even Christmas. I mean, hearts represent love, and we're into love all year round. So you can use them for any number of occasions. So don't get dissuaded that, oh yeah, it's a Valentine's set. Typically our hearts, anything that comes out with hearts comes in our spring catalog simply because, yes, Valentine's Day is around the corner. All right, so we're going to use some of these dies today. I'm cracking open the set first thing this morning, and so I haven't played with it. All right, now the stamp set is a photopolymer stamp set. Okay, so it's great for ease of placement because you can see right through the stamps. And it comes with this really cute little rose and some leaves. So it gives you something else to build on. And of course, it's got Happy Valentine's Day. My heart belongs to you. So yes, great anniversary cards. Love you. You've got a to and a from because you can use this set to create little gift packages with some of your Valentine's treats in it. You've got your Be Mine, and you've got Sending Lots of Love. So this could be a birthday greeting, sending lots of love. So it's a great little set. And then in the suite, you could order these beautiful gold hearts. Now in the catalog, they didn't show up really as gold. I thought they were kind of clear, but they are gold, and they are very, very sweet. And you've got, I think, 2 or 3 sizes in there. So we're going to use some of those. They've got adhesive on the back. And then the paper is to die for. Now, when I first saw the flyer for this set, the papers, I don't know, I just wasn't attracted to the papers because they looked too dark. But I think it was because they were displaying one of the darker papers. So they're all marbled with gold. That's the beauty of them. Look at the gold marbling on here. So you've got this kind of pinky, I would say this is a melon mambo color. I should grab the packaging here just to let you know what colors are in here. Okay, you've got Cherry Cobbler, Flirty Flamingo, Melon Mambo, Petal Pink, Poppy Parade, and Real Red and Gold. So you've got all of our reddish colors here. Okay, now I happen to have all of those stamp sets. I'm not doing a lot of stamping today, so I'm going to just stick with the Real Red, I think, for today. Okay, now, so this is the pinky one here. And then you've got a little bit darker swirls of pink and more of the Real Red, maybe a bit of Cherry Cobbler in here, the darker color. Then you have this one. This is really sweet. It's got way more Cherry Cobbler and Real Red and a tiny bit of pink in here as well. And I love the splattering of the gold on here. These big splotches are kind of fun. And there are 2 sheets of each, and then you've got the more pinkies. So this is Melon Mambo, this is Flirty Flamingo, and you've got your polished pink in here as well. Some more of the pinky tones, gorgeous papers. And then you've got this one here. So you've got now veins of gold. So the gold design, which is nice, is not the same on every sheet of paper. You've got gold veins, and here's some more gold veins. And in some of the papers, you've got splotches. And then in other papers, you've got this beautiful, I don't know what you'd call this, a smooching design. Okay, so for today's card, we have to decide which of these sheets we're going to use. And I definitely want to use one of these. So because I've got the Real Red pad here, I think I'm going to go with a Real Red, maybe this one here. Now the reverse are not golded, the reverse of these papers don't have any gold in them at all, but I'll just turn them over so you can see what they look like. So when you're cutting your paper, if you're cutting on it, looking at this side, you want to look at the reverse to see if it's a directional flow. And this one is. The hearts do go in one direction. So if you wanted this to be a layer on your card, you're going to want to cut it in this direction and not in this direction where the hearts are sideways. So I always like to make a note of that you want to watch the direction of your patterns on both sides of the paper. Okay, and then you've got some striping. I always love a good striped paper. Then this is very, very pretty. This pinky one. This is Melon Mambo. And then you've got this one looks like Cherry Cobbler to me. So those 2 patterns are the same, the pink and the red. And then you've got this one with some leaves in it. So again, it's a leaf, so it doesn't really, I mean, you could do the direction this way. Yeah, the leaf has got the leaf fronds are kind of going up in this direction. So you want to watch the direction of that piece there. And then you've got the beautiful rose. Look at that. That's really pretty as well. Okay. So those are the papers. They're lovely. They will make lovely treat bags for some chocolates for Valentine's Day. Okay, so let's work with our card sketch here now. Let me just put this away and put my paper away and grab my paper trimmer. All right, so let's cut some paper here. So I'm going to start with a white card base, I think, today. And I've got so many ideas in my head. After the video, I should make a few more using the same sketch and just changing up the papers. So what I'll do is this paper, I think I'm going to make this the feature piece, 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. And I'm just going to simply use a piece from the back and perhaps do this piece here. Okay, so I'm going to start with 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. Actually, I'm going to cut, I always cut when I have new paper, I always cut basically in my card layer, which is 4 by 5 1/4. That's how I always start. I don't cut this to fit the project because if I have any leftover pieces, I can use them on the inside of my card. So I always start by cutting at 4 inches. And then I'll work with that 4-inch piece to get whatever measurements I want. That's just how I roll. So I'm going to cut this down 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, and I'm working with this now. All right. So this strip across the back, if I'm going to use this leaves, is 3 1/2 inches wide. Okay, so I've got 3 1/2 inches wide. 3 1/2. 3 1/2 by 1 1/2. 3 1/2 in length by 1 1/2 by 1 1/2. Okay, I might just keep it this length, this width here, which is 1 3/4, 1 1/2 to 1 3/4. It's only a 1/4 inch wider rather than just waste a piece. And then I want this piece, and I'm going to use the gold side just to see what part of the gold I want in there. And I'm going to do this to 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. So 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. Now, if you have some dies, and we have Stylish Shapes set of dies, we've got squares in there. So you could choose, boy, this is a lot smaller than what it looks like in the sketch. Look how tiny that is. So what I was saying is you could use dies to cut out the designer series paper. Use a square. See, look how much bigger that looks in the diagram, but it's just this. Okay. So this is going to be very, very simple layout. So we're basically putting this on the card front. Now, is this 3 1/2? I just want to double check here. Did I cut that right? No, that's the wrong piece. Ha ha ha. This is the piece, 3 1/2. And I knew that because I'm looking at the sketch and there's more of a border on the sides. So this is 3 1/2. So I've got my leaves lying down sideways. And then this piece is going to go on top like that. Now, because I didn't cut this down to 1 1/2, this piece doesn't really have enough space there. So I think I will trim this. So this has to be 1 1/2 instead of 1 3/4. Let's go to 1 1/2. Okay. So as I always say, a sketch just gives you something to start with, and you can always change it along the way. So that's going to go on there like that. And then I've got my square. See, now I've got more top to bottom white space there. All right, that's basically the design. And they've also put some ribbon in here, or you could use linen thread or anything that you want. That's the scribbly bit here is telling you they've put something underneath there, and you can choose to do it or not. I'm not going to do it because I want to use my little hearts. All right, so that's our simple basic layout. So you can do any number of things here. If you wanted to add another white layer and emboss it, that would be very effective as well. So many ideas. Let's see who has joined this morning. Hi, Kathy. Oh, nice of you to have found me. And Carol, welcome. You're from St. Joseph, Michigan. Hi, welcome. You're a first-time viewer, I think. Nice of you to have found me. Yeah, so you've used this bundle a lot then, Carol? All right, so I'm going to start with, let's see, where are my dies? I'm sure there are dies here that will cut out. We might stamp the rose. I love the rose, and there's a die for that. So yeah, let's stamp the rose in red. So I've got some acrylic blocks here. And we'll get a scrap piece of paper. I'll try to use up every little scrap piece of paper I have. I have a drawer that I just throw my scraps into. Now, this is the first time using this stamp set, and as I've said before, this hasn't been confirmed, but a lot of demonstrators talk about the fact that the photopolymer stamps seem to have a coating on them so that when you ink it up the first few times, the ink will bubble on it. And see, it's starting to bubble already on here, or not bubble, but separate. It doesn't stick to the photopolymer all that well. So my trick or my tip for you is what I do is I take a scrap piece of paper and I ink up the stamp and then I just smush it into the paper. I'm trying to kind of rub off any finish that's on the stamp. And this usually works pretty well for me. Another tip is to, if you have Versamark ink, which is our sticky ink, you can stamp it in the Versamark and then stamp it in your colored ink. And that works too. And you only have to do it the one time, which is interesting. All right, let's see how this stamps now. Okay, that's really good. Yes, I'm happy with that. Okay. So we'll stamp this. Yes, that's lovely, especially when using our basic white cardstock. So we have two cardstocks for white. We have a regular weight cardstock, and it has a beautiful finish on it. It's very, very smooth, so it's excellent for stamping. And then we have our thick white, which we use for card bases. Okay, now I'm going to do something a little bit different. I think I'm going to take this Love You. So we've got this beautiful Love You stamp, and I might stamp right on my card base. Love You. And I think I'll do it in a contrast. I think I will use black. So I thought I would stamp that right down here. So you want to do, if you're going to stamp directly on your card base, make sure you do that in the early stages before you've glued anything on, just in case you stamp it a little crooked or it doesn't ink up very well or any number of things. So I'm going to pull out my Memento black ink and I am going to ink this up now again. Hopefully this, no, we'll just smush this again. So let's open up my card base. And I'm going to do it kind of the bottom right-hand corner. There we go. Love You. Look at that. That looks great. Okay. Now let's close up the ink pad. Okay, so I'm not sure what else. I'm going to do a couple of other different hearts. And so let's set that card base aside. There's a beautiful heart here with some gorgeous, if I got the rose, do I really need more? Oh, you know what we should do? If I'm going to do the rose, we should do some of the leaves here. Maybe we should do some leaves. And is there a die for the leaves? Yes, there is. Look at that. There's two dies for leaves. So let's, now just so happens I have garden green on my desk from a project I was working on before. Yesterday I was working on it. So I need more scrap cardstock. We'll stamp maybe 3 of these. Okay. And I've got my die ready. Maybe I better do another one because I went off the paper a little bit there. Let's do that one. Okay. So we'll cut these out and then we'll cut the rows out. So let's put the rows in here. Ooh, that was lucky. I only had to do 3 turns to find the sweet spot. All right. So we can do these 2 now. I'm just going to cut away some of this cardstock here. And let's put on our little leaf here. And I need another piece of tape. Okay, and we'll do these 2. So I have my cutting machine off to the right here. And I typically use my larger machine. I do have our mini stamp and cut and emboss machine. But I do like the big one because I can fit more on it at a time. Okay, so there's one little leaf. Let's do this second one. Also, often when I'm designing a card, I may stamp and cut a few elements out from the stamp set, and then I have things to play with. Because my initial choice might not work that well. So it's nice to have some options. So let me just do one more leaf here. So you may want to, stamp and cut out more of the heart. And then you have a selection. All right. There you go. Okay. These little dots are from a flower I cut out earlier. Okay, that paper's pretty well done. And we've got our rows. Okay. All right, so let's bring back our card base, and I'm just going to take my bone folder and just give it another burnish because it's still not lying very flat. There we go. All right, let's zoom out a little bit so you can see more of what I'm doing. And my messy desk, look at my messy desk. I am a very messy crafter. All right, so we've got this strip here. Now I'm going to give you another tip. You may or may not have heard this, but sometimes when you use our Stampin' Trimmer, Sometimes if you press too hard, you're going to get kind of like a raised edge on here. So you can flatten that just by using your bone folder. Just rub the bone folder over the edge and it'll flatten it. It could be an indication that you're pressing too hard. You're really supposed to just push the blade, not push and press the blade down. Okay, so I'm going to put this on here like this. And then this is going to come on top like that. Now, if you decide, oh, I'm not crazy about the way that looks, there's not much contrast between these two pieces of paper, you could cut another square, like in black, and frame this piece, just to pull the black in a little bit. There's another idea. Okay, so I'm going to use the rose. And let's decide where we want the rose, or do we want a heart? That heart's way too big. Now, I don't have any gold paper here at my desk, but there's a beautiful heart in here. It's this one here that will cut a solid image. So that would be beautiful cut out in gold. You also have this humongous heart. And this outline heart would be great. You could actually make a heart-shaped card. Okay, so that would be great too. Another idea. And then you've got this one filigreed heart in here. So I think we're just going to stick with the rose today. So I'm going to put this on dimensionals. Let me just grab. I have some new sheets of dimensions in here, the bigger ones. Come on, they're all, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to put my rose on a dimensional here. Okay, and we'll put the rose. Now we haven't glued these pieces on yet, so I better do that first. Okay, so I'm just going to get my glue. And that came out in a bit of a glob. So I always have Q-tips handy. It's what I call one of my craft tools is a toothpick, or not toothpick, sorry, a Q-tip. Okay, so let's just stick this on here like that. And we've got a bit of sliding time. Okay, and then we've got this heart here. This also would be very nice if you cut another square in gold. That would be very, very pretty. Or you could do a contrasting pink color on there. Okay, so you've got some other options. I really love templates because then you can make several different cards just based on the template, and they'll all look different. I'm trying to center this here. There we go. All right, time to decorate now. So let's see. Do we want the rose overlapping? We don't want it in the middle. I don't really care for it in the middle. It's too much red. So I might just put it down, just overlap it a little bit, I think, here. Now, one thing I love to do is I love to not necessarily raise the whole leaf. I want to be able to tuck the leaf underneath the rose, but I want the leaf to look three-dimensional. So this is where I pull in my mini dimensionals, and I just put them at the very tip of the leaves to raise them up a bit. Okay, I'll show you. So let me grab my pokey tool. And I'm going to put a little dimensional right at the top, or as far to the top as I can. Here we go. And we'll just take these off. Okay, and now I can, and because I have a dimensional on here, I don't really need to put glue on the bottom here. I can just tuck it in and stick that dimensional down. There you go. There is your card. And here is the card sketch. Okay. So I've just added a few elements down here, and I've decided not to use the string. I've stamped on the bottom of the card. So now let's just put some of these beautiful hearts on here to pull the gold in. And then our card will be done for the day. I'm happy with the way that turned out. What do you guys think? Hi, Christine. Yes, I'm not going out today. The roads are a big mess. Thank you for that. Phil was out there shoveling snow yesterday morning in the driveway, and about 2 hours later, it had all melted anyway. I could not believe how big the snowflakes were yesterday. They were just ginormous. Did you notice that? Okay, I'm going to try and see if I can. I love to use my putty end of my Take Your Pick tool to pull off my embellishments. And sometimes it works great, and other times it doesn't work so great. Oh, I'm going to have to use my tweezers. Stuck on my finger. Okay, I'm just going to do a little cluster of hearts here. There's 3 sizes we can play with. Let's do one right here. And we'll do, I love putting 2 together, like little teardrops. There you go. Okay, there's our card for today. I'm really happy how that turned out. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Pretty simple card layout. So as I said, I will put a photo of the card and the card sketch in my next post so that you can have it. So you know that you can click on the picture and you can save it if you want. And then you can create your own little album of sketches. So we're up to 10 now. So if you look back, I've got 10 sketches up there for you to use. Isn't that fun? Thank you so much for joining. Oh, hi, Heather. You love my hair. Yeah, I've only got a little bit left to go. I'm thinking about getting it all chopped off, but I kind of like putting it up in a ponytail, and it has this ombre look when I have it down. See, it's still a bit dark in the back, but it's coming along. Thank you. And you've got hair. I love your hair. It's coming back great. Did you wish it was coming back straight, or do you still like it curly? All right. Thank you so much, ladies. And I will be back on Thursday night. I think I will continue with this love theme and come up with a card from the flyer that came out announcing this stamp set is an online exclusive. So we'll just do a case from the flyer. And I will see you on, I'm reading comments. Feeling like a sheep. Well, let's hope somebody doesn't come out with a razor again for you. Oh my gosh. How are you enjoying your new house? I'll have to make a trip up there and come and visit you. You're so far away now. Anyway, I won't keep you any longer, ladies. Thank you so much for joining me, and hope I'll see you on Thursday night. Bye for now.